Hello everyone, my name is Sheikh Malik. I am from 2CSCD. Today we are going to discuss about implicit objects. So in JSP there are basically four implicit objects: out, response, request, and config. Let us take a look at each one of them with a program. First one, out implicit object. So within a JSP tag and within the body, we write a Java code. Here we are declaring two numbers, num1 equal to 10, number2 equal to 20 with the variable type integer and out.println. We are displaying the output in the Java server page. Number 1 is the num1, number 2 is num2. Let us see the output of this one. First, this one is out implicit object. This is the simplest of all the implicit objects. Next one is request. Here also the basically same thing. First we take a HTML form, we display a text and submit buttons, we display the submit button and we display a text area. And the next one is JSP file in which within the body we write the Java code. To get the name we entered in the HTML form, we use the method request.getParameter. Let us run these programs. This is the request implicit object and this is the HTML form. Form action equal to index.jsp. We are referring, we are literally pasting a link to the index.jsp from here. In this, we are displaying the welcome plus name which we retrieve from the HTML page. Let us run this one. Run as run on server. This is the HTML form we talked about. Let us do some Malik and submit. So see, this is the output. Welcome space Malik. Here we enter the name and when we press the submit button, here comes the output. This is request. So basically we are requesting for the data in the HTML page and we are displaying the data into the JSP page. This is a request implicit object. And now out implicit object. The first one we saw. Let us take the look at let us take a look at the code. Index.jsp. As I have said, this is the simplest one of all. We are just displaying two numbers within the same JSP file. Let us run this one. Run on server. Next, out.implicit. Let us look at the output. Number 1 is 10, and number 2 is 20. So we face two implicit objects. First one out, second one request. Let us take a look at the third one. This is response. Let us see what we are doing here. Index.html. So we are giving a link to index.jsp in the form tag, and here we are displaying a text area and a submit button. Let us look at the JSP file. In the JSP file, what we are doing is we are redirecting the page to another website. Here I am redirecting the page to www.google.com. Let us look at the request. I mean response implicit object. Here's the index.html index page. Here is the JSP page. Response dot send redirect google.com. Let us run this one and see if it takes us to the Google website. Let's see. Here let us select our project response and finish. See, it has redirected us to the Google website, Google homepage, as we have said. Let us change another website and let us take a look if it works. So I am redirecting to our college website, vvitguntur.com. Let us see if it works. Response and finish. Here you can see it has redirected us to the vvitguntur.com as I have said. So this is response. The third implicit object. Let us look at the fourth one, which is config. Here it is. So demo.html. Let us look at the HTML file. So here what we are doing the same thing. We are displaying a text area and a submit button and form action equal to welcome. So let us see what is welcome here. So we are presenting a web.xml file here. So welcome means welcome refers to the index.jsp as well. But as we are adding the XML file, we just presented welcome there. Let us see it at index.jsp what we are doing here. In the body, we are displaying the name we got from the HTML file. Name equal uname, right? Get parameter of uname. So welcomes plus the name we enter there. And dname, it is from the XML file. So we are getting data from HTML as well as XML. See in XML, servlet name equal to demo, JSP file index.jsp, init param. So this is initialization parameters. We, dis- we display initialization parameters. I mean, uh, in the we store data in form of key value pairs in XML using the tags init param, param name, param value. So if we enter the name, we get the value. This is obviously the XML file, and let us run it. Response to close. Let me just look where it is. Config. Yeah, here it is. Yeah. Before running, let us just take a look at all the JSP and HTML files. This is the JSP file. Welcome plus the name we entered, and this is getting it parameter. This method is used to get data from the XML file. This is the HTML file as usual for all the implicit objects, a text area and a submit button. Here comes XML file. Init parameter as I have said for the initialization parameters. Here URL pattern equal to welcome. Let us run this one. On server Malik go welcome Malik and the driver name is so the part this part comes from the HTML page and this part comes from the XML page which we have stored in the form of init parameter param name param value. This is the config implicit objects. In this lecture, we discussed out implicit object, and then request, response, and config. Let us look at the outputs for each one. for uh, config, and for response, and for the response again, and for the out implicit object, and for the request. These are for the outputs: request, out, response, response, and finally config. So this is all about implicit objects in JSP. Thank you.